Hello, and thank you for taking the time to join us for the Youth Passing System webinar series, where we continue our mission of empowering youth coaches to spread the ball around and score more points with an effective passing game. So after years of being asked, which passing concept should I run for teams, anywhere from high school on down, we created a streamlined plug-and-play passing system for busy coaches to just plug into their run game. Our program specifically improves your quarterback's decision-making, ensuring your team plays confidently on game day, relying on muscle memory to light up that scoreboard. My name is Matt Lasker, and alongside the eternal one, fake Coach Leach, together we will be your guides through this free webinar series. So after spending a few hours with eternal Coach Leach and I in completing this webinar series, you will have a pre-snap to the next snap, repeatable process your quarterbacks will step through on every single play. If you don't have this, it is a must, because without a quarterback who understands what's going on, you don't have a chance. You will have pre-made or custom engaging lesson plans your athletes will take home and play on their phones outside of the pressure of practice, which is huge for truly understanding the why. And lastly, you will have mastered your quarterback room, as our streamlined passing game ensures you and your quarterback can figure out issues on the fly, because we boiled it down to a few key points.
All right, let's kick off screen day with a conversation about our favorite time of year, the fall, with football and the holidays, and the weather is all perfect. The audience really wants to know, with Halloween just passing, what candy do you like to eat?
I mean, I completely hate candy corn. When I was a kid, gummy bears for sure. The Airbo, it's got to be the Airbo ones. And then the other thing I like is to have the sprees in a box. Outstanding. You have to go to the dollar store to find it, but I do. There's still candy innovation. You know, they have those Nerds clusters, which is new. And then if you go chocolate, probably Almond Joy.
Right on, Coach. Those are really good. You had me with everything until you said Almond Joy. I can't get on board with the coconut candy.
All right, we're already moving along and halfway through. We're on our screen game video. Love screens. Such an easy, effective, low cost, and low risk plays that have huge potential. A lot of these are 2-yard passes that turn into huge gains, if not long touchdowns. So I'm excited to get into it with you and show you all things screen that you can add to your offense. Right now, today, some people would say they can just add these screens to their offense. No matter what run scheme or offensive scheme you want to run, adding just these screens to any offense will supercharge it. So this is an exciting video for me. I love making it, and I hope that you enjoy. So we'll start with our Larry and Roger screens, which again are to our slot receivers, H and Y, and they're quick screens. Now, I do want to address the run play that's going on in the middle of the screen. We do pair this with our favorite run, which for us is GT counter. I would definitely suggest GT counter as one of your runs. I know once you get down to about 12U, maybe 11U and under, it starts to be difficult to find multiple people on your team that can pull and block. So I've seen it successfully work very well, and I'll show you some footage. We have cut-ups, 12U teams and up running it and just crushing with GT counter. If you don't feel comfortable with that, it could just be power, one person, or it could just be zone. Whatever run play that you have that you can just count on and you hang your hat on, I would pair it with your quick screen. Because as I'm about to show you, kids can count the numbers on the outside and make it and put your team in the right position. Okay, so this is Larry, which is a quick screen to the left. We use a pedal screen where the receiver steps down hard toward the line of scrimmage and then back pedals and loses a few yards and back pedals and gives our quarterback a nice big chest of a target to throw to. This receiver is obviously blocking on the cornerback, and it's just that simple. The pedal screen catches the ball, turns upfield, one hard cut, and gets as many yards as he can. Now, as I mentioned, it's just a numbers game. In this situation, when the quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage, the defense is going to tell us if we're going to throw the screen or run the ball. As you can see, we have one defender here and a second defender tucked in almost into the box. So as long as he's not over halfway to this slot receiver, we're just going to count one defender. Okay, he has to be much closer for it to threaten this H, because this is one of our faster people. Now I want to mention, we don't count safeties that are 10 yards or more. So this guy you don't need to worry about when we do the count. So it's one defender on two receivers. Now in the next slide, outside linebacker, popped all the way out, and now it's 2-on-2. So when the quarterback comes to the line of scrimmage and sees this action, he will just turn to the running back, give a quick UU call, and then simply hand the ball to the running back as he crosses his face. The line, just so you're aware, will block GT counter regardless of what the quarterback says. They probably won't even hear what the quarterback's decision is. We just want them blocking GT counter as hard as they can, assuming that they're going to be blocking for the running back. But as you can see, it's a simple numbers game. If we have numbers, we're going to throw the screen. If we don't have numbers on the outside, we're going to run the ball with our favorite run play. So that is Larry out of our open set. Here's Larry out of our 3x1. It's the same exact thing. We're just going to count. Okay, we look outside, we see 3-on-3. We're going to go ahead and give the UU call to the running back and hand it to him. If it's 2-on-3, we love that. We're going to go ahead and throw the Larry screen and let our H receiver go to work. Two call outs that I want to mention. If you are a counter team, we are purposefully running counter at the screen side because we really want this outside linebacker or safety, whoever the extra players are, we want them to declare one way or another. It gives us better numbers if we can run this after we've pulled the defender out of the box. So number one, I wanted to make that point. And then flipping it to run Roger or to the right is the same exact thing. We would just flip the entire screen that you're looking at. Now, when we ask the question, open by alignment, we're going to simply use the numbers game to the answer of, is your first read open by alignment? If we have the numbers on the outside, then yes, they are open by alignment. If we don't, 2-on-2, it is no, we are not open by alignment. 3-on-3, no, not open by alignment. 2-on-3, yes, open by alignment. Okay. So I'm going to show you video clips of all these screens at the end, but let's just continue on with the diagrams and we'll watch the film together once we've moved through this.
All right, so before we dive in, just want to make sure everyone knows what comes with the youth passing system. Number one, of course, in terms of playbooks, practice and install plans, specific position coaches, plans, and much more, we're going to give you everything from A to Z that you need to implement and install this offense on your own with these free webinar videos. Then we will take it to the next level and send home engaging lesson plans on your players' phones so they become experts at both the youth passing system, pre-snap to the next snap process, and experts at moving through the progressions of the youth passing system concepts. Because they will step through that process on every single snap at your practice. Then they will step through the process through endless virtual reps on their phones. So when game day comes, they will be operating off muscle memory, playing fast, and making great decisions every single time.
So this play is called early F orbit, and this is F. He's going in orbit, F orbit, pepper. So pepper is our quick screen to the running back to the right. Pepper. Salt with the L is left, pepper to the right. So essentially you can do this out of open, out of early. Count really doesn't matter that much because we're always going to have an extra person with this running back getting the ball, okay? But either way, the point of this play is to quickly get the ball to your running back behind 3 receivers or 2 receivers that are blocking. Again, we're not counting safeties that are 10 yards or deeper. We trust our running back or our H-back or any of our athletes one-on-one with the safety. We think they can make a move and make a miss, okay? So the point is, again, of pepper is to get your running back with the ball behind 3 blockers on the outside. Again, accomplishing our goal of getting our best players the ball in space. Now, when you see orbit, this is just another way to use motion to get a player to where he needs to go. Sometimes we do this out of orbit motion where we line the running back up on the opposite side, put him in orbit motion and back, snap the ball as he gets close to the tackle on the other side, and basically he's already behind this screen by the time the quarterback can turn and throw him the ball. And that quarterback is doing nothing but turning and throwing the ball. So that's our orbit motion to get into this look. And then I want you to see out of late, we can use push motion. So late F push salt is just the running back aligning on on the same side as the screen using push motion to push right out. And again, by the time the quarterback snaps it and throws it, the running back will be behind those 3 receivers that are blocking, and we are off to the races, letting our running back go to work. And we have some great film of this play that I'm about to show you. And then the last quick screen, we don't use this as much, but if you have some really great outside receivers and you look up and you see the numbers on this, like you see on this side, where it's 2-on-1, and you just want to snap the ball and just fling it out to a 1. A lot of times this is a audible. Just from the sideline, I'll yell out Tom or Jerry to just, again, turn a double play. We've used that analogy a few times. Quarterback snaps the ball and just fires out to the outside receiver. And in a 2-on-1 situation, again, with this linebacker way in here, we have given the ball to one of our best athletes in space. Easy throw. Okay. Now 2-on-2, we won't do that, but 2-on-1, we can run Tom and Jerry all day. Okay. So let's go look at some clips for our quick screen. Okay, so hopefully those few clips of our quick screens helped. You didn't see Tom and Jerry in there. Like I said, we don't use that very much, but it's a nice little compliment if you have the horses to do it. One thing I want to mention, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a couple Larry and Roger Foxes. That is our screen and go, which is ridiculously fun and awesome. And the lower you get, the easier it is to hit those playing off of the screen, because we throw a million screens. One thing that I will always take with me from Coach Joe Salas, who, besides saying this,
tempo gives you the ability to take a big, strong guy and drag him to the deep end of the pool and drown him.
Besides saying that awesomeness, he also was the one that has seared into my brain. If you ever question if you have run enough quick screens in a game, then you haven't. You should leave every game thinking, man, did I call that too much? It's that important. It's that much of a tone setter. And those quick screens that we just showed you are such nice, easy ways to get the ball going, to get the ball moving downfield, and to get your athletes touches and get their feet going and making moves. And of course, that just breeds success and confidence on the field. So now let's move on to our tunnel screen. Okay. And our tunnel screen is called Lucy and Rose, okay? And I'm going to use Rose here because this is a better representation of how we actually use it and how we actually see it. I was against tunnel screens at the lower levels, again, JV, high school, and below. It was hard to get the lineman into the action until I realized that we could run this to the boundary and that would solve all of it for us. And it actually has ended up doing that, okay? So as you can see, both sides are running a form of this outside screen, but this tunnel runner is who we want. And you can see we are on the hash, we are on the boundary right now. And this is the only time when I'm this close to the sideline is when I can guarantee that my linemen will get into a position where they can actually help and block. So what's going to happen is we're going to call late Rose from the boundary on the far right side. At the snap of the ball, the running back, his responsibility is the cornerback. So he is flying and making sure he is at the blocking point, not where the guy starts, but it's going to be this area up here where the catch point is that we need to make sure that we're in. So he's going to fly up and take out the cornerback. These two linemen are going to quick set 1-2 steps, and then the tackle is going to the sidewalk to find work, and the guard is going upfield trying to find anyone to hit. Now, at the snap of the ball, the tunnel screen runner is going to take a hard step or two. Now, if it's man, and we do call this against man because it still is nasty, you might have to take 3 or 4 steps to really sell the go. You really have to get this cornerback to back up. That's the main point. Then he's going to peel back, come back behind the line of scrimmage, flash his hands, but staying tight, staying real tight to the outside. We don't want to come in here with all these bad guys. Staying real tight, catching the ball hopefully right about the line of scrimmage. We're going to get in behind these blockers, but then get right back out down the sideline. Again, all the flow is going to be coming from the inside. So get in and get back out just by rule. Teach that, drill that into them so they do it in the game. You don't know how many times I've seen, even down in the red zone, which this is an amazing red zone play. Even down the red zone, they catch it, they get their 5 yards, but because they keep staying here, they don't get a touchdown. They just by rule get in and get out, and they can drill that in their mind. It's going to score a couple more touchdowns a year and maybe even break some big plays. Okay. Quarterback, we're not doing anything crazy right now. We're just going to catch the ball, take a quick drop, and then just shoot it out to the tunnel screen runner. It's not a slow screen where we need to loop it or do anything crazy. Yes, we kind of want to invite these linemen toward us, but we don't have to hold it like a slow screen. Just get the momentum coming and then you get the ball out so you're hitting them right as he's approaching the line of scrimmage again. And like I said early, Lucy is just the other way. Everything sets up the exact same way with the same responsibilities. It's just the receiver on the left side getting his turn. But again, get in, get out, and go make a play. Let's watch some clips of Lucy. So the last screen that we're going to talk about is our slow running back screen. Most of you know these from even our time back in the day playing ball. But what the biggest wrinkle are two things, right? So standard running back screen, the linemen are dropping, giving ground, giving ground, giving ground. After about 2 drops, the tackle and the guard throw their defensive linemen that are rushing outside and they release. The tackle releases to the sidewalk to kick out. The guard comes up the alley. Pretty standard stuff. Now, and the quarterback takes a 3-step drop and then fades backwards even more. And if anything, he's going to fade to the side that the running back's going to take it. This is Roxy, so this is to the right. So a couple nuances by the way we run it. So number one, through trial and error, we run the running back across the formation after the snap and have him set up in the opposite side. We had him on the same side, but the running back actually had a hard time finding the right location to tuck behind these linemen. Obviously, they're not just standing in place. They're not just static. They had a hard time doing it from the same side. And also the defense, it was a little easier for them to pick up what was going on. The fact that this running back at the snap of the ball crosses the quarterback's face as he's looking at the lineman, he can now see where the linemen are setting up, find the sweet spot to sit and tuck behind them as he's turning to the quarterback and looking for the ball. And it just makes it a much cleaner look for the running back. And it's a little harder to pick up from the defensive perspective. Number two, please notice we are running concept shallow. Now, it doesn't have to be shallow. We can make this verts with a Y shallow, but the reason why we've chosen shallow for this is because of this shallow route essentially is an automatic hot route. So if something breaks down and these linemen let the defensive linemen come in too quick, even though in a screen we want them to come in, there is such a thing as coming in too quick. This is a built-in hot route, this shallow route that it can literally just replace. And a lot of times they'll fire a linebacker, which this is just tucking in right behind the linebacker blitz if you catch him in the right situation. So it's an easy, you don't have to audible, you don't have to check for a hot route. You can just know anytime I'm running the slow running back screen, Roxy or Lexi, I've got a shallow route crossing my face and I can get rid of the ball knowing that guy is sprinting across the field and I know where he'll be. So Roxy again is to the right, Lexi is the same exact thing but to the left. So the shallow is going opposite to the opposite side. So keep that in mind. But again, the blocking and the technique and the running back all operate in the same manner.
All right, another great session, Coach. Let's grab one more question as we wind things down. Coach Steve in Florida wants to know why you don't cover your mouth when you call plays during the game like you see pretty much every other OC in the world do.
I've never met a lip reader, but evidently there's a lot of them out there because all these coaches cover their mouth, and despite the fact that during spring and in camp, they go ahead and call plays with their teams and run plays with their teams. Somehow the other team they're about to play is a lot smarter. And so somebody, the lip reader, is going to immediately get the message of what you said in your terminology, which could be very different than the other guys. But in your terminology, it's like the magic bullet. Okay, and then he is somehow going to tell, say, the defensive coordinator on the other team, what you called, who's thereby going to get it to the play caller, who then clearly, without any error whatsoever, is going to convey that to 10 other players, and then they're going to execute with precision, immediately pouncing on whatever it is you just called.
Oh my gosh, that's so hilarious, Coach. It reminds me of a game my friends and I play when one of us is being ridiculous. We go through the whole process of, for that to be true, you have to believe these things. And by the time we get to the second or third thing in that order, it's already been shot down as a ridiculous idea. So I love that frame of mind, Coach.
All right, that's our fun screen day. Again, there are quite a few screens that we run. The quick screens, I would do Larry and Roger, make those a normal part of essentially your sweep game, outside run game. Salt and pepper, that needs to be a play you run multiple times a game as well. So your quick screens, you can run those all day in any offense. I promise those will help you out. The tunnel screen, I love them. You have to teach the linemen, and with our screen periods that we build into all our practices every day, they will have plenty of time to do it. Now, if your practice is set up for a run heavy team, and you don't have time for a screen period, maybe tunnel screen and slow screens are what you can remove. But if you are taking passing serious and you want passing yardage for your team and to give a whole new element, a whole new look to your offense, telling you quick screens, these quick screens, Larry and Roger and Salt and Pepper, they will absolutely give you hundreds of yards every game if you just take the time to learn them, and more importantly, call them as a part of your run game. Call them instead of your toss sweep. Call them instead of any of your outside runs. All right, so on the next video, we'll get into pass protection, making sure we have simple, easy rules for passing and getting the ball out on time. But of course, we need to sync up with the O-line and the running back to make sure we have picked up all of the threats. And as we've all talked about, first thing at the lower levels that these defenses will do when they play a passing team is send the house and see if you have an answer for that. And we have an answer for them. So stay tuned. Make sure you are following us on all of our channels, YouTube. Take a second right now, like, comment below, and subscribe so you're always in tune with what we're doing. Make sure you're following us on Twitter, on Instagram, and of course, our coaches community of other youth passing system operators on playerbook.com. Until the next one, coaches.